Rooster and Lark.
Hello and welcome back to our three-part series on how to get your custom plastic bags printed in China and sent here to the United States. So this is the third video in our series. In video 1, we covered how to locate and vet suppliers overseas. In video 2, we covered all the production aspects of bag printing, including the cylinders, colors, seals, and the trade assurance agreement. And this is the third video, and today we're going to cover importing your finished bags into your home country and then getting them delivered to your location. So this is actually something that is easier than you might expect. I was very nervous about doing this. I never shipped any freight internationally, but now that I figured it out, it's actually quite easy, and I'm going to walk you through step by step on what to do to get your finished products here in the United States or wherever it is you are based. The first thing to talk about is the two methods of transportation that you can use to get your packages here. If you need your packages quickly, you can have them sent via air. So you could use FedEx Air or UPS. I prefer to use FedEx, and for the purpose of this video, we're going to be talking all about FedEx. But you can book just a FedEx Express or International Priority or any level you want, and you can have that shipped, and it could be here within 7 to 14 days, I would say. Now, the disadvantage of this is it's very expensive. Each bag is going to be, each box of bags, each box is going to come with at least 1,000 bags in it. It's going to be, 30 pounds at least, so shipping a whole pallet of those in the air is going to be very expensive. I have shipped the bags in the air when I didn't give myself enough lead time in order to send them by boat, but in general, it's going to be much, much less expensive to ship your bags by sea. Now, I don't have the exact cost breakdown in front of me, but I do believe that it was upwards of like $5,000 to ship all the bags here by air, by FedEx Air, which was definitely easier. You don't have to deal as much with customs and all that. However, it's as I mentioned, much cheaper to ship them by sea. And I recently just shipped a new production run of bags into the United States, and it was $1,200 all in from China to me here in Colorado. So you save thousands of dollars by shipping by sea, and the $1,200 includes everything. It includes all the customs and the taxes and the truck to get it from the port here. So it's really very, very affordable, and it only adds maybe a penny per bag when you factor it in across the 30 to 50,000 bags you just had printed. So the first thing I would mention, whether you're going to ship it by air or by sea, the first thing I would say is to not let your supplier arrange the freight for you. That is a disaster waiting to happen. I can tell you from experience that you need to arrange the freight yourself through a carrier here in the United States, or whatever country you're in. What I would recommend and what I use is I use FedEx for the entire process, whether it's by air or sea, from getting it from China to here in the United States. I use FedEx the entire time. So what happens if you let your Chinese suppliers handle it for you is they could do the paperwork incorrectly, and you could end up paying more than you wanted to. So what happened to me is I let the Chinese supplier handle the paperwork for a couple cases that I was shipping by air because I needed them soon, and I was going to ship the rest by sea. And they accidentally checked, the fastest way possible, like, Overnight Express or something from China. And I really just wanted them to do it the slowest way possible, but by air. And it ended up costing me, at least $1,000 more than I anticipated because my Chinese supplier ended up checking the wrong box. So any paperwork that's required, you're going to want to get in touch with FedEx here in the United States, and you're going to want to personally arrange the shipment. But it's going to be the cheapest, as I mentioned, the cheapest way to ship it is by sea. So for the rest of the video, we're going to talk about shipping it by sea. And the first kind of things you're going to need is to contact FedEx to set up an account and have them help you start to import your packaging from China to the United States. And what you're going to use is this service called FedEx Trade Networks. And this is FedEx's international freight service. They handle moving freight by rail, by sea, all over the world. And I think the easiest way to get set up with them, rather than go through this website, is go to support. And it's going to say call us. And you can call their toll-free hotline and speak to somebody on the phone. The other thing you can do, this is what I did, is I would go to the FedEx Trade Network office that's closest to you. And you can see they have offices all over the world. I live in Colorado, so what I did is I just called the office directly and asked to speak to somebody. I said, I'm with a business here in Colorado. I'm importing packaging from China for the first time, and I'd like to use FedEx Trade Networks. And what they're going to do is they're going to get you set up with an account, and they're going to walk you through the process, and they're going to really hold your hand through the entire thing. And they're really going to make it very, very easy for you. It's still going to require a little bit of work on your end, but it's going to be much easier than letting them handle it. There's a lot of things that go into it in terms of what boat is your packaging going to sail on, what port is it going to go into, and who's going to handle all of the customs work once it lands here in the United States. It needs to be inspected and go through customs. FedEx is going to handle all of that. If you let your Chinese supplier do that for you, they're going to ship it to the wrong port. They're going to ship it to the least expensive port. That could be very far from you. They might not ship it to California. They could ship it to Texas. They could ship it to Northern California. It just will not be efficient. And once it gets to the port, you're going to have no point of contact to get your shipment through customs. So I cannot reiterate enough how important it is not to let your supplier handle the shipment and contact FedEx Trade Networks. Now, if you go over here, here's what FedEx Trade Networks is going to need in order to move your load. The first thing they're going to need is the pickup location. So this is my supplier, Xinjiang Packaging in China. This is their address, and this is my contact, Jimmy Chen, his email, and his telephone number. You're going to want the information of where you need your load delivered to. So it's going to arrive in the port in California, but then it's going to need to come on a truck and head to you. So this is my cold storage. This is where I store all my product. This is the manager of my cold storage facility. And then down here is the information that they're going to need. So this is LCL. That stands for less than container load. I'm shipping less than a container of bags. It's going to go in a container with other products and other pallets. And you denote that by saying it's an LCL shipment. You're also going to get the number of cartons. So each box is going to come with 1,000 bags. I ordered 10,000 bags of each. I have 3 total products, so 30 cartons total. They're going to need the dimensions of the cartons, and they're going to need the total weight of the shipment. And I just sent this to my contacts at FedEx Trade Network. So I'm already set up with an account. And then from there, they can start to book the load information for you. FedEx is going to really handle everything, as I mentioned. They're going to handle all the customs paperwork. You're going to need to fill out some initial paperwork for them that's going to give them what's called power of attorney for your business in terms of customs importation into the country. So you're going to sign the power of attorney form. You're going to sign the account setup form. And FedEx Trade Networks, they're going to handle the boat. They're going to put it on a boat for you. They're going to make sure it's on a pallet. They're going to make sure it goes to the right port. And when it gets there, they're going to handle all of the customs information. And then finally, once the shipment is cleared through customs, they're going to put it on a truck and deliver it to you at your warehouse. So it really is pretty simple if you go through an all-in-one sort of provider like FedEx Trade Networks rather than your own broker or letting them do it. This is really going to be the simplest way. As I mentioned, this whole operation, the boat, the customs, and the truck to Denver was only $1,200. That is very, very reasonable, and it only adds a penny or a fraction of a penny onto the cost of each unit. So that is the final step in importing your freight into the United States. A couple problems or things that could come up. Your Chinese supplier might ask you for some fees. They might say you need to pay more money for customs. You might need to pay more money for some sort of internal tax. What I would say is that might be true and it might not be true, but to call FedEx Trade Networks and check with them before you pay your supplier any additional money. So you'll be contacting FedEx after you've already paid them in full for the bags. If they come back to you and say, oh, we need another $50 to clear it through China, the truth is you don't know if that's true or not. It could be true. There's a lot of government workings over there. It's not super transparent, but you're going to want to check with FedEx. It happened to me where a Chinese supplier requested that I pay them additional $50 for some sort of government thing that they needed. I called FedEx Trade Networks. They said that was legit. It's okay to pay that, and I paid them. Happened to be another time. They said, oh, that doesn't sound right. Seems a little fishy. I went back to the Chinese supplier. I said, this doesn't sound right. And they said, okay, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. So FedEx Trade Networks, they're going to be your guide to getting this on a boat and importing it into the United States. And any issues that come up, you're going to want to call them and have them kind of hold your hand and walk you through it. And really, that is the last step in importing your packaging into the United States. It's going to arrive at your warehouse, delivered by FedEx, and there's going to be a time in your trade assurance agreement that says how long you have to file a complaint. It's going to be pretty short. I think it's going to be between 7 and 14 days. So you're going to want to make sure you open the bags. You're going to want to check, pull bags from a couple different boxes to make sure they're all printed correctly and make sure you have no disputes. In the trade assurance agreement, you can sort of set the terms that the trade assurance expires once you have received the goods. I forget exactly where that is in here, but there is a thing that, the trade assurance terms, trade assurance obligations, all that is in here, where we agreed that the trade assurance ends 2 weeks after the goods have arrived, and we have verified that they are legitimate. Same thing talks about here on claim periods. So just make sure when you get your bags that everything looks legit. If you have any issues, you want to talk to your FedEx Trade Networks sales rep, and that is how you get your custom bags printed in China and delivered here to the U.S. I hope this three-part guide answered all your questions. I know we specifically talked about plastic packaging and plastic bags, but the process is going to be similar for other packaging, for cardboard bags or cardboard boxes, things like that. Everything's going to come down to making sure the trade assurance agreement specifies all the specifications of the bag, and everything is really detailed in the die line. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to email me or drop a line in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you. And good luck getting your packages printed overseas, and I hope you enjoy all your cost savings. And you're saving a lot of money getting your bags printed over there. As you saw earlier, I pay about 10.5 cents per bag. And after shipping, it really doesn't come out to any more than 11.5 cents. So very affordable. Best of luck to you. Hope this was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel to get my other videos. And hope to hear from you soon. And in the comments. Thanks and take care.
Rooster and Lark.